Welcome to another edition of USEA's Global Briefing. My name is Melissa Brown and I am the host and producer of this series. Today I am joined by Honduran Secretary of Energy, Eduardo Oviedo. How are you?
Nice to meet you, and thank you for having me here today.
No problem. Thank you for joining us. To start us off, Honduras and the United States share a long history of partnership. From your perspective, how would you describe the current strength of relations between our two nations when it comes to energy?
Okay, Honduras has a long history with the U.S. relationships, and I think the peak was when they began to come to our country and invest in agriculture, mainly with the Chiquita brands and Dole companies, and they began to develop the north of the country. And after that, we have had a very good relationship. And now in the case of energy, U.S. is very interested in investing in our country, mainly in natural gas. Because, you know, with the fracking revolution, U.S. has a huge amounts of natural gas, and that's a more stable energy price compared to oil, which is so volatile.
Oh, yes. And looking ahead, what are some of the key joint successes in U.S.-Honduran relations that you feel most proud of or most excited for the future?
We have a new government in Honduras that began the 27th of January, and we have a new relationship with the U.S. because now the U.S. has a very strong strategy in Latin America, moving from around the world to concentrate in the security of the Western Hemisphere. So they are very interested in to create a corridor in Honduras because, as you know, we have ports in both oceans, and we have a lot of industrial capacity along that corridor. Recently they signed, my government and the U.S. signed an agreement of cooperation, and in the energy sector they have come to the country, and we are very eager to enter the LNG investments because we are dependent of oil imports, which are very expensive for our country. We don't have oil supplies.
Oh yes, and speaking of energy, energy is foundational to economic growth and daily life worldwide. What is your overall vision for the future of the Honduran energy grid and grid modernization over the coming years?
Now, we have had a company that is a monopoly of the state, and now we want to move with a new reform to separate the markets, I mean generation, transmission, and distribution, in order to have a model that doesn't control a complete monopoly of the supply chain. That law is now in Congress. I hope it will be passed soon, and we have received a lot of signals from the international markets, and mainly the U.S., that they are very interested in investing in our country if that law passes. So we are receiving many U.S. companies interested in investing in LNG, supply of LNG, and also to put power plants that use the LNG as a source of energy.
Oh yes, and Honduras has incredible potential for renewable energy, including hydropower, solar power, and biomass. Which clean energy sectors are you most excited to see grow?
We already have a very, very diversified matrix in energy. We have the National Power Company has a lot of hydropower plants and hydropower production, and also many private companies have already investments in hydropower. But we also have a lot of interest, not only from the government, but from the investors in solar power. You know, we have a very large period of sunny days in the year, so we have a very high potential or solar production. We also have geothermal, like now it's not exploited at the most, but many companies are coming. We are investigating all the geothermal potential in the country, but at least we have 2 companies now which are installed already in Honduras. In the case of biomassa, we have several companies that work with biomassa, mainly sugar companies, also the oil producers with oil palms. So we don't have any predilection for any of those technologies. All have a very important potential.
Oh, yes, and expanding energy access to communities is a major priority, not just in Honduras, but Central America. How is Honduras working to bring reliable power to every corner of the country?
Okay, recently we gave the data. In average, we have 84% of coverage. It means 16% of the population is not covered. We calculated around 380,000 families that are not covered by the national system. So the government is very interested in bringing electricity and development to those regions that are far away, and mainly in rural areas, to bring all kind of energy options, solar, wind, even power plants by oil and diesel. And now we are working with microgrids. Many banks are interested in financing microgrids, mainly in very far regions like the Gracias a Dios territories that are far from the country and are difficult to access because of terrain, rivers, and national reserves of forests and wilderness.
Great, and in what specific ways has U.S. technical assistance, investments, or development helped strengthen the domestic energy infrastructure in Honduras?
U.S. and many other international actors are very interested in investing in Honduras because they see the potential, but we need to reform our laws in order to secure the investments in a foreign country. So we are now with the law of energy reforms in the Congress, and if it is passed, it will open the window for huge investments in the energy sector. U.S. is very interested in sending to Honduras natural gas, on also investing in generation that are that use natural gas as a source of energy. Other actors like the Europeans are interested in the transmission lines. We have also Korea very interested in the distribution systems. They are working right now in improving the efficiency of the distribution network.
Great, and also like private sector investment plays a huge role in building modern energy systems. So what steps is your team making to make Honduras a welcoming destination for international energy investors?
Okay, to secure the investments, I think is the main priority. One of the things is that in former government, we left the International Organization of Settlements for International Disputes. The new government is already back. That gives security to the investors in case of any disputes. This system, we can go to arbitrage with investors from other countries in a neutral place that didn't exist in former government. That's one point. The other point is, in the case of energy, we are passing the new law that will allow also security in investments with the new reforms. So I have received many companies and many governments going to our country that are very interested in investing in Honduras in the energy sector.
Great. And how is Honduras collaborating with both its Central American neighbors and international partners to ensure energy security in the region?
We are in the SIEPAC. It's a Central American system of energy collaboration. We even have a transmission line that goes from Guatemala through Panama. And we also have SIECA and SICA, where we have standards of collaboration in order to have a Central American market. We have interconnections with Guatemala, El Salvador, and Nicaragua.
Great. And for our last question, if an American clean tech innovator or overall energy investor is listening to this podcast today, what key message or invitation would you like to leave them with regarding energy opportunities in Honduras?
I think a very good signal if we approve the new law that is actual in the Congress. With that, you will ensure your investments. The company has a big potential of growing because for many years we haven't had bids. We will have a new bid that will be in the range of 1,500 to 2,000 megawatts that will come at the end of this year. I think it's a good place to invest if we have this regulation clear for securing the international investment.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Secretary Oviedo, for taking the time to speak with me today, and thank you for your team for also providing translating. Thank you to the State Department for helping to make this possible, and thank you to our listeners for joining us today. If you'd like to learn more about the United States Energy Association, you can go to our website at usea.org. Thank you.